All right, welcome to the Scruffy Dude podcast.
What
Uh,
up?
my my name is Isaac.
And this is Clayton here.
Yeah, and man, it been almost about 2 years since we filmed.
hmm Yeah, way too long.
I mean, I can when I go back and look into the archives of the video. I don't know if you have, but I can go back into it and I go all the way down. It's been like 2 years since we
hmm
actually tried to film. And even though we're talking and nobody probably know who we are or they don't really follow us like that, but it's still been like 2 years since we actually post our last video.
Yeah,
So
it's been a minute.
I don't know.
Yeah, like we got a couple off a couple years ago. To take a big hiatus. Cause what was that?
I
20
hate
was
it.
a
Like we did it purposely. Like we was
big
like, hey
hiatus.
man, gotta take a break. It's just it's just
Well, cause what
it,
was that? 21, 22.
2 years ago, so it's 24.
22,
So about
22,
probably about
22.
22.
Yeah, 22.
But it's just lack of consistency and like that's why I was telling you, my plans and stuff now. Like I just want to be more consistent with it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? But shoot, I mean, I had 10 subscribers,
Man said 10 subscribers.
10 subscribers,
Have a 10
but
subscriber spectacular. Start giving out PlayStations at 15.
hey man, they said people with 500 subscribers have a good little fan base. You know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
be following them and keeping up with what they doing. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Quality over quantity, I guess.
yeah. But man, I go ahead and get into the video. So the first topic we wanted to talk about was the Diddy allegations. Even though we're far from I'm not gonna say far, but we what is 2 months ago when it
Mhm.
happened, right? Something like
It's
that.
been yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so basically his house got raided, you know, what by the FBI, right?
Nah, Homeland Security, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because it say what HSI or something like that on their uniform, or you don't remember.
I just know it was eight. I just he got me about to say it. I just know it was
Uh,
Homeland Security. And I know they pulled up heavy duty SWAT team style, like they were expecting some type of resistance
yeah,
to be offered, and it wasn't there. But still, they
yeah.
came trucks and shields and vests deep.
But but that always alarm people. But that's just I think it make it seem worse than what it is. But that's just protocol. You know what I mean? It's like it's like we just going into the situation normally, but people take it like, dang, what's going on? They got bombs in there. They got weapons of mass destruction in there.
Well,
But it's
problem
like,
is you got a lot of civilians who give their civilian takes.
hmm
They label anything as that's unnecessary force, but you don't know what kind of information that they have. You don't know who's telling them what. And even on the ground level, how many police officers have lost their lives on normal traffic stops? So I mean, you'd rather because they got families to go home to, so you'd rather them come in prepared for something than for them to go in flat footed, get caught off guard, God forbid something happens. So,
hmm
it is what it is.
nah, not for sure. But man, I think so. I guess the stuff with Diddy just don't start like just haven't started now. It been back in the '90s, maybe before then. So, little side note, I heard. So you know who Dapper Dan is?
Dapper Dan. I feel like I should know that name. I don't know why it sounds familiar. Dapper
So
Dan.
he's like I think I don't know too much about him. I think he's like a fashion icon. He's like really into that
hmm
industry, I think, if I'm not
Yep.
wrong. But so he allegedly basically say like he knew his family. He knew Diddy's family and basically saying
hmm
that Diddy get his behavior from them. Like that he
hmm
basically implied that in the video. But
hmm
uh but, but I guess my point is like this is nothing new. Like it been a track record of well, not track record, but it been rumors of him doing these kind of things that that actually coming out to the light now. You know, I want to say in what 90. Seven. Like I know, so Keefy D was actually, I guess, what brought in what for the murder of Tupac. You know what
Oh
I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that was recent though.
Yeah, that was recent. Yeah,
Somebody,
yeah.
yeah, somebody put a name to it. It just came out of nowhere though.
Nah, so it actually didn't. So it's like, back in 97,
Mm,
he talked to investigators about that and basically saying how um I think it was he said his cousin was the shooter or something like that.
mm,
But basically he said Diddy hired them
yeah.
to uh to kill Tupac, and so, the allegations with Diddy goes back further, like than just now. They said Diddy.
Oh yeah, well, sure, sure. It's always speculation, yeah. But now nothing ever concrete because because Diddy was everywhere. He plugged in everywhere, always at the heart of everything. He was there in the midst of the whole, East Coast West Coast thing. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, where's fire with smoke? How you
Well,
say it? Where
where there's
smoke,
smoke,
there's
there's fire.
fire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where
You
there's
had it
smoke, there's fire.
swinging and missing. You had it, but you
But
said
yeah,
it with such conviction. So
you said what?
you said it with such conviction. I'll
Oh
let you finish
yeah,
up.
yeah. but yeah. I mean, when it somebody can't be saying these things about you for all these years, and all of it is lies. It's just that's just not. This is not how it works. So I'm not saying all of it is true,
Hmm.
but but like I said, there's smoke, and that got to be fire there. But what you about to say?
Well, man, I mean, honestly, you just look at today's time, man, in the era of social media, when everybody is an unofficial investigative journalist, like literally people get up with no other job or ambition in life than to expose something online. So, with that being said, I mean, we're living in a time now where if somebody was ever going to be exposed, it would be now, right? You can
Hmm.
take your pick to anybody. Um, we're just putting a lot of legal terms on things that, like you alluded to earlier, they've been going on. Like it's been happening in our face, like music videos, rap lyrics, all these things. It's just in today's time in 2024 in America, this is when people are starting to kind of say, wait a minute, like they're putting names to faces and all these, and all these stories and putting legal terms on things and saying, wait, that's a felony, or that's that over here, that's that over here. But it's been going on. It just was so we were so entrenched in the relevance of the cultural moment at the time,
Hmm.
and now it's like, oh wait, that's actually a bad thing. Like if you remember that Diddy clip. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us laughed at it, but the one where Diddy's like in an office or something like that, and he's like, I'm a savage. Ah. You've seen it. He's throwing stuff. Whatever I want, I gotta go get. I gotta get it. Oh, what's next? I'm a savage. And looking
Yeah,
back, hindsight being 2020, I mean, with everything happening now, that clip takes on a whole different meaning than just a comedic, like,
yeah.
celebrating victory. It looks like now, like, hmm,
Yeah, like,
what
oh,
can you read
that's
into
that's
that?
evidence of who you are, as a person.
I'm a
You know.
savage. Oh,
He was
oh,
I seen it. He was knocking over. I just seen it not too long ago. He was
yeah.
knocking over stuff on the table and
I'm a
stuff.
savage. Whatever I want, I gotta get. As a kid.
I
What's
think he said
next?
everything I want, I get something like
Bro, something like that, yeah.
that.
Man said it's akin to King Kong. I ain't got nothing on me.
Everything I
I'll
want,
put
I
cases
get.
on. Oh, put case on all you.
Hey, he said everything I want, I get. Shoot, they can go
Hey,
far. He said I can get men, women, boys, girls. He
everything
said I
he
can.
said back then takes on a whole different meaning now.
Hmm.
It is what it is.
And so fast forward from the nine. I mean, so even I was watching something the other day. It was talking about how even Biggie was saying how, well, I'm not gonna say he was saying, but Biggie allegedly at one point had problems with the way um Diddy was running his business, and was
Mm,
kind of lowballing him, not really doing things in a way that that it was supposed to be. And then after he died, they said he made more money from Biggie than he did when he was alive, and he owned a lot of
Mhm.
his music and stuff like that. You know,
Oh yeah. But see, I'm sorry, but that's a lot of these record companies, man. Like,
in general, yeah.
you know how much money Michael Jackson made after posthumously after he died?
Hmm.
I don't have the number up in front of me, but like I'm
Oh yeah,
pretty
it's a lot of
sure
money.
a stupid amount of money was made because of just that, that attention, Tupac, Biggie. So what happens, and you would hate to assume some kind of nefarious intention behind it because on its surface it just looked like like a gang East Coast West Coast thing gone wrong. But I mean, you know somebody makes the money behind the scenes. It really is kind of just like when COVID happened in 2020
Hmm.
and everything was happening and people were scrambling to get the vaccines, but somebody was making money though. And it's not to play
Conspiracy
conspiracy
theory.
theorists, right? Thank you. It's not to play conspiracy theorists, but factually speaking, right, to use that as an example allegorically, somebody made money when COVID happened. Like
Hmm.
so many medical developers got so much money because of, vaccines flying off shelves.
Hmm.
People got paid at that time.
Hmm.
So there's always a beneficiary when things like that happen. And it's unfortunate because you never want it to seem like it's like like not something happened conspiracy based wise, but factually speaking, there are a lot of people who benefit. So, and you would just hope that there are not nefariousness or nefarious activities happening behind the scenes to influence things. So,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. You know, about nefarious things going on behind the scenes. But what do you? So let's skip forward from the '90s. What do you know about Puffy Flavor Camp?
Puffy Flavor Camp.
Yeah, do you know anything about that? Have
This
you
man
heard of
said
that before?
Puffy Flavor
Puffy's
Camp.
Puffy's Flavor Camp. I didn't make it up. If you think I'm
No,
making that up?
because it's one of those things you hear it and it's like I feel like it's like a dormant memory somewhere. Like I feel like it's a long time. I don't know if it's like a new or recent thing, but it's like a long time ago. I feel like it was something I heard about, something like that. But
So you kind of know about it, but you're not too familiar with
super
it.
super vague,
Okay,
super vague.
so basically, he is basically saying that, hey, I'm mentoring young guys, and
Sure.
one of the young guys, I don't know who
You
all
talking
was
about
in this.
Bieber? Was Bieber up in there?
So
No.
so that's what I was gonna get to. So
Okay.
so the two big people that most people talk about and know about that was involved, like I guess, of living with Diddy, because that was the flavor count was. It's like, hey, I'm coaching you, I'm building you up as an artist, but you're living with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so first it was everybody know about Usher. You know,
Yeah. Usher.
Usher
Yeah.
was living
Hmm.
with him and going through that. And even Usher on a podcast, I think it was Howard Stern radio show, and like he was saying how basically certain things went on there, and
Right.
he was like way under the age of
Like
18,
13 years old.
14, something like that, you know.
13, 14.
And you know, Bieber, they talk about Bieber, and Bieber went to go live with him for a while, and then they start talking about how
Mhm.
when they met back up with him, he kept talking about, hey, why we haven't partied again, something like that. He talking about, man,
Mhm.
I've been reaching out to your people, why you haven't talked to me, why you haven't, you know, you doing all these shows now, you know, you don't know me no more, you acting different. People talking about, yeah, you 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 trying to be a predator, and like he don't want to be a part of that no more, you know. you know
Mhm.
so yeah, man, I mean, that's just one of the other things that just continue to make him look bad, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of got it up right now. Yeah, Usher's words, I think from yeah, Howard Stern, 2016, talking about things. Um, yeah, bro. Once you peel back that onion, I mean, it's a lot, bro. It really is. A lot of stuff just hiding in plain sight, but that we just never looked into. You know,
Hmm.
that's really what it was, bro. And
Hmm.
honestly, I know you're not kind of there yet, but I mean, bro, this is how many artists, entertainers, how many guys that belong to black culture recently that it's been happening in our face or whatever's happened for decades. And it
Hmm.
just, fell by the wayside until now. R.
Mhm.
Kelly, Bill Cosby. Again, not even saying it like we fully know for sure, because ultimately you still got the courts going on. You still got things that we don't know. Look,
Man.
I'm just saying, bro. Look, only God and those directly involved know. But
For sure, for
what I'm
sure.
saying is, as a culture, right? How many artists have we seen over the years where things have been flashing in our face, and even if it's not just straight up guilt, at least it's like, dang, should we be really enjoying this to this degree? Shouldn't we question that? Like, what, you know? But again, is when you stepping in the name of love, you ain't really thinking too much about, you know, uh, when everybody's sitting there talking about take that, like that, no one's really
Yeah, because I would say a lot of people probably heard these things for years and just took it
take that,
as they
take
they
that. Take that.
they heard these things for years and just took it as like, oh, crazy rumors, you
Hmm.
know, and never looked at it as like, bro, this is real life stuff that goes on,
Bro,
you
not to
know.
interrupt you, but if you remember the Surviving R. Kelly documentary? Did you watch it?
I seen bits and pieces of it or like certain episodes. I never really watched it like that.
Sure. So it's relevant to this because, so to your point about what people said, there were families of the girls who were abused by R. Kelly or were close to R. Kelly, right? And the parents out of their own mouths would say, oh, well, we know that R. Kelly was on trial for certain things, insert whatever trial here. But the court said he was innocent. So we just thought, it's okay. And it's like, nah. It's like, if you're even in the court alleged to have done anything child pedophilia based, is like, as a parent, that's a failure on your part. You're the one who essentially presented your child to whoever R. Kelly was, knowing, bro, and there's no excuse, knowing the kind of music he made at the time. Like, you
Yeah.
still handed your child to this man. So whatever happened after that, like, this man already told you age ain't nothing but a number. He told you to your face. It seemed like you're ready. Like, what else, do you got to hear from this man before it's like, maybe he's not the kind of person that our daughter should be like a Bieber or an Usher. Maybe this is not the kind of figure that, even if we want them in the music industry,
Yeah.
why does it have to be this person to help them break into the industry? Like,
I
you
think a
know,
lot of parents, and I could be wrong, but some parents in that situation don't care, and they care about the influence and the money and the stuff that can come from that, like the fame and stuff like that.
hmm
And I think and I could be wrong. It's not everybody, but some of them probably care about it after the fact because they see ways to make money from it. You know
you
what I
think his
mean?
parents vicariously living through their children, basically?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying now when they came back and they was suing R. Kelly and talking about, oh, he did this, he did that. Well, like you said, you didn't care then, but now you care. And then I think now you really care because you see an opportunity to make some more money. You
Hmm.
know, and that's not all of them. Some of them probably really do care, but some of them, you wait all this time and now you want to say something, and it don't give you it don't give you a good look. I'm gonna say it like that,
Hmm.
you know. But man, back to the Diddy thing, um, like I was telling you when we was talking earlier about it, it made me think about his son. And I don't know if you
Hmm.
know, but there's allegations against him,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that,
Yeah.
he was on a I mean it's crazy because it sounds just like his daddy. You
He looked
you
he looked just like him
I
too.
he do
He looked just
Christian
like him.
King Combs, but I'm not gonna lie, some of his music sounded good though. I'm not gonna lie, he got that '90s vibe to his music. It sounded good. I don't know if you ever heard any of his music.
Man, I ain't never listened to a King Cole song in my in my life.
If you,
Um,
I can almost guarantee if you turn on a King Kong song, you would
it's
you
just,
King
just,
Kong. I see you. if you
just, just
if you turned on a King Kong song, I think you would at least like one of his songs.
hmm.
It got 90 vibes to it.
Bro, unpopular opinion, real quick. I'm not the biggest fan of what Diddy's flow was back when he was really rapping a lot more. Like, for me, it just sounded very just like, like how I'm talking right now. I don't know.
Can't stop, won't stop.
But right, it was more. But what was? what was the whole stick? Was it just because it was Diddy hopping out with the outfits or whatever? Just can't stop on stuff. Like, what was it about his flow? Or is it
Diddy
what
Diddy is not was never I mean, he
he
rapped,
wasn't a
but
hyper lyricist? Like,
he wasn't a rapper. I don't think he considered himself a rapper. I don't think that, he was looked at as a rapper. He was just like Suge Knight. You man, if y'all don't, if you don't want the producer all in the music
dancing in just the
video, dance,
video, coming to death row.
come to death row. Like he was.
Yeah,
I just think he was more of a businessman. Like I'm
I
gonna do
think
what
he
I
was
have
like
to
the
do to get into a certain situation, and if I gotta rap, I'm a rap. You know what I mean? But I don't.
so he's like a mix between DJ Khaled and Birdman, where it's like
Essentially, yeah.
Khaled is Mr. Marketer. That's
Mhm.
we the best. Oh, another
Mhm.
one. But then Birdman was the more the rapping kind of guy, where it's like
Mhm.
I say rapping loosely, where it's like he would hop on the song, right,
Mhm.
and he's more known for like the and the the hand rubbing, but you know you ain't about to sit there and be like, man, what's your top 10 Birdman verses of all time? You like that ain't about to be the conversation. Just like Diddy too. It's just mm-mm.
Why everybody know people from doing certain gestures? Like
It just
it's just like Rick Ross, like like
oh
like nah.
boss.
But yeah, man. I mean but his son, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, he looked like him, but like he was on a yacht, and when he
Yeah.
was on the yacht, it was a person that she worked on the yacht. I forgot what she
Mm-hmm.
did. Long story short, he kept making advances to her, and she said that, hey, I'm good. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
this. He took off all his clothes and came at her and was trying to have sex with her. I want to say at one point she said she was drugged, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it made me think about Diddy. I'm like, bro, is Diddy literally literally teaching you these things? Like he's sitting down with you and saying, hey, this is how you do XYZ? Because Diddy, I don't know if you heard, but Diddy is known for having uh drug alcoholic drinks at his parties. It was Columbus Short. You know who Columbus Short is?
Oh yeah, Stomp the Yard. No,
Yeah,
not Stomp the Yard. Was it him? Yeah, Stomp the
yeah,
Yard.
it's
Yeah.
not the yeah. He said he was an alcoholic, right? He used to be an alcoholic. He said he went to a Diddy party. I think he was invited or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he went, and while he was there, he said that they offered him something to drink, and so he
Mm-hmm.
took the drink, and he was like, yeah, I'll take a little bit, whatever, whatever, and he drunk it. So he said he's an alcoholic, so he know like how it's supposed to taste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that interview. Yeah.
yeah. After one hit, he like, what's going on? I'm
Yeah.
feeling a
Mm.
little out of there, And
Yeah.
so,
His
long
team was
story
like, "You
short,
good? You good?
yeah. So
You
he,
straight?"
long story short, he said he went home, he left, and he just said he glad he avoided that, So it's crazy, man. And then his son is literally following in those same footsteps. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, I've also seen. I don't know if you saw. Well, I'm pretty sure you know who Uncle Luke is, right? Like Two Live Crew, I think.
I
Uh,
always heard the name. I seen him in a movie, I think, but
mm,
I'm not too familiar with
oh, bro,
him.
old school. Just
Yeah, yeah. I kind of know who he is.
basically like Archbishop Don Juan era type, person. Way back. But even he said, and this is Uncle Luke talking, right? Like Uncle Luke, if you know about him, like he represents one of the raunchiest eras of hip hop. And even in one of his interviews recently, like he was joking about like a Diddy party, right? And they
Mhm.
asked him like, "Hey, did you stay for like the famous after party segment?" He said, "Oh nah." He said, I got up out of there." So even if it was like a joke, the fact that it was an Uncle Luke saying that he kind of he knew when to dip out, uh, you know, speculative or not. I mean, still, what we're both agreeing on and what we're talking about is it's something that though the details are not all the way concrete proven, it's very well and wide known. Like this is not new information. Like it's very well known throughout Hollywood, throughout hip hop
Mhm.
community. This happens. Now the legal ramifications, that's what we're trying to get to with the whole Homeland Security and all these other charges coming up with Cassie and whatnot, and other guys, producers and whatnot. But the premise, overall premise, like, no, that happens. Like, that's openly
Well,
acknowledged that this
well,
happens.
well. I think the overall premise leads to all the illegal activities that we're talking about because his overall lifestyle, from what people are saying, is like, yeah, yeah, you doing the gay stuff, yeah, you trying to drug people. I mean, that's illegal. You can't drug people. You can't put drugs in people alcohol and then try to maybe potentially have sex with them later. That's illegal, and so is that, and then like I know you like in the legal documents that we kind of I'm pretty sure me and you both glanced at them.
Mm,
It was talking about where when the guy in the back, I can't remember the whole situation, but there was a guy at a party or
mhm,
somewhere, and he supposedly had got shot on the street or something like that. But it
mhm,
was more evidence showing he got shot in the restroom. And
mhm,
so it's just so much stuff where he's allegedly involved in the murders and he paying off police.
mhm,
He got cameras all over his house, and then he have allegedly what politicians and um what music executives, celebrities, all these people here
mhm,
doing these things, and then you allegedly have uh young boys, young girls there, and you're sex trafficking them, you're selling them to all these other celebrities and politicians and influential people. I mean, that's where
mhm.
the illegal stuff come in, so
Sure.
yeah, man, it's it's
Bro,
crazy.
speaking of
It
the court document, I'm sorry, what were you about to say?
nah, like finish what you're saying.
Nah, bro, you're, man, it's an understatement to say, like, truly, it's a lot going on, bro. Looking at this document again, I got it up in front of me right now. Like,
Hmm.
bro, there's one plaintiff, right? Mr. Jones, as he's called in the,
Yeah.
in the document.
Hmm.
Bro, I'm sitting here counting all the defendants: one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's me just putting numbers to it. That's not me like breaking down, like, you got UMG, Motown, Love Records, like, all just
Yeah.
ABC Corporation. Bro,
Yeah.
it's a lot
Hmm.
of layers to this. And I'll just point you back to what Suge Knight said recently. Again, take it for what I don't know. This is Suge Knight. He's very plugged in. He knows what's going on. When I heard Suge Knight recently say that he was concerned about Diddy's life and that, like, he's in danger, and basically the person said why, and he's like, well, he got all the secrets, like, he's as plugged in as anybody, right?
Hmm.
So we're not just talking about Diddy's life being altered forever, his legacy, bro. We're talking about a lot of people who
Yeah.
potentially are caught up in this entire thing. And it's one of those things, bro, where it gets kind of sketchy when you think about it, man. Like, how many people have something to lose? I guess I'll just put it to you like that. How many interested
Hmm.
parties, bro? Because do you realize how eerily silent so many people have been?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, bro, the silence is deafening. There are a lot of people that could have come out to publicly defend Diddy and say, hey, I know for a fact he didn't do this. That's my
Yeah.
guy. That's not his character. Nobody has done that. The
Hmm.
closest people have gotten is like a Fat Joe. But even in that, in many interviews I've seen and many clips, he's been more like hands off, like, hey, listen, like, that ain't my place. Hoping the best for him, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
whoop, whoop, all this stuff. That by itself is an indictment, at least in the court of public opinion. That is an indictment
Hmm.
when some of your biggest contemporaries
Hmm.
are not coming to bat for you publicly.
Yeah.
It's a problem,
Hmm.
bro. It is. It's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, probably when anybody, um, just like Michael Jackson or what's that guy name? Bill Cosby, when they
Mm.
both was on trial and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't come to their aid either. When people get in hot water like that, I think people just have a tendency to um try to save themselves and say, hey, y'all, that's y'all. I'm not gonna be a part of that. I don't want to get dragged into that.
Well,
But
that's for the most part that's true, but like, no, you will see some little sections of people who will
yeah, yeah,
be a
true.
vocal minority and, like, will pipe up. Like, you will have sprinkles, not all the time, but you'll
Yeah,
have some.
but with
But bro,
Diddy,
in
it
this
seems,
situation,
yeah, it seems
ain't
very,
no, bro, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And then when people talk about it, it's always like you not like I give you an example, Boosie. Lil Boosie. I was listening to Lil Boosie
Hmm.
on Vlad TV,
Yeah.
and he was talking about how uh he had a so a lot of people is clipping a piece of his song from back in the day where he said, "Hey, I'm about to go out to LA and party with Diddy." And so a lot of
Hmm.
people like, "Hey, that didn't age good," something like that. And so basically, he kind of talk about that, and like when he's talking about Diddy, he's not like Lil Boosie, he's very vocal. But when
Hmm.
he's talking about Diddy, it's more so like he's defending him. Like, oh, I always known him to, like I always known him to
Hmm.
be good. I party with
Mm.
him, this and that, da da da. Instead of like just, doubling down on him and like, nah, so
Bro,
I'm
hold
not
up.
saying he's supporting it, but it's basically it's like he's not standing on it like I would expect for him to do as I feel like he doing other stuff. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Bro, man, look, bro, I'm still, I'm still looking at this core doc more and more, bro. When you look at the lines under summary of events, bro, and you start to connect the dots, and you know who they're talking about, right? When they talk about rapper redacted, on the yacht, or singer,
Yeah.
R&B singer redacted does this and that. It's like, bro, come on, we know what they're talking about, bro. This
So
line,
have you seen the part where it talks about rapper from Philadelphia who went out with Meek Mill? Who went out with Meek Mill? Who went out with Nicki Minaj?
uh. I've been made aware of that. I've missed
So
that
it
line
says
right
it
here.
on there. It says it
Yeah.
on there.
Oh no, I believe you. It's just that in my hand, I must have skipped up. Oh nope, nope. There it is, right there. Yep, looking right at it. Yep, he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. So again, these are not things that are unknown, right? It's so much uglier in print. That's when you
They
hear
got
it spoken,
screenshots and
bro,
everything. It's
bro. They
crazy.
got bro. Just keep the scroll going. But see, then it's like again, I'm looking at these lines, man. One line in particular, seeing as though we're both Christian, so it stands out.
Hmm.
Line F, underneath the section of summary of events.
Hmm.
Or I guess, oh no, under 28, and then what? Subsection F says here, Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes
Yeah.
to soften the impact on his public
Hmm.
image of Kathy Ventura's lawsuit. Like when you, bro, again, you're when
Crazy.
you're talking about how far reaching this is, like as Christians, that's where it's like, hey man, it's bro, empires fall because
And
of
people
stuff like this.
people talk about TD Jakes and I never, well, I'm not gonna say never, but I'm not like a huge fan of TD Jakes, but he maybe had good intentions.
Mm.
He maybe wasn't there to be like, hey, I'm finna go party with you, Diddy, bring the girls out, bring the boys out. He maybe was like,
Hey bro, listen bro, have you seen the most recent documentary on Tubi?
nah,
Bro,
what
go
is it?
watch it, bro. It's called The Downfall of Diddy. TMZ presents The Downfall of Diddy. It's about an hour plus long.
Mm,
Again, it's just another resource, and it's kind of rehashing a lot of stuff that's already been reported. But bro,
mm,
you got Stevie J on there. You got Aubrey O'Day, who was from Danity Kane. You got who was it, Marcus Kurt. Like you just got all these different figures in there and different speakers from different walks of life.
okay.
Um, but in it, I mean, there's a part where I forgot who it was who said it, and I hate that I don't remember specifically who said it. But it's a dude, and he's talking about the whole Diddy parties and all this good stuff, and he was like, I guess he was talking about like the recordings, right? And he's mentioning like who all was involved. He's like, famous people and let's say politicians, right? And then he leans into the camera and he says, even some famous preachers were up in there, right? So it's like again, you have all these bits of circumstantial evidence, but what the fact remains, you can try to say, oh, the intentions. Hey man, listen, like from people in the know, it seems like everybody who's been involved has indulged,
Mm-hmm.
to varying degrees with Diddy, and I think that's why so many people are afraid. is because, look, indulgence has happened. What did Cat Williams say? He said, Diddy wants to party, but you got to
You
tell
got
him no.
no.
You
You
gotta,
gotta,
you gotta
you
tell him
gotta tell
no.
him no.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. He said it. You gotta tell him no,
Honestly, it do seem like he want to party. Like
bro. What, man? Look,
it
bro.
seem like it's all he want to do. But
Diddy get look, bro. People like that get you caught up. Like they just living their normal 24/7 life, and you just minding your business. Hey, man, you want to do this? Okay, sure. And then you end up somewhere that you would never plan to be.
like the Lecrae thing, like you heard the Lecrae
Yeah,
thing.
I've seen him talk about that. Now, I don't know if I remember him putting a name on which kind of
Yeah,
party he was at, but
yeah, he
it's
didn't.
like,
You can assume,
you know,
but the thing about it though, and see, I'm finna go to where I want to take it, like the
mm,
Illuminati thing. When you talking about all of this can have those type of connections because it's not just Diddy, man. There's
oh no, not at
people
all.
people suspect Will Smith. I don't know
But
if
you
you
need
ever
a fall
heard.
guy though. You need a fall guy
Yeah,
though. That's a whole. I'm not saying
yeah.
it's just a fall guy situation, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of people that if Diddy went down for this by himself and it did not
Mm-hmm.
incriminate them, do you
Mm-hmm.
know how many sighs of relief you might get? I'm just saying, bro. You got to
Bro,
entertain the.
it's just like it's so much rumors about different people, like Gabrielle Union and D Wade. They're
Hmm.
known for having sex parties. You know, um, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett. You know, yeah, man. I mean, there are so many different people. Like, man, I've heard Ja Rule was in. I think it was Ja Rule. I don't want to lie on him. I don't want to say that, but I've heard something about him in the room and this and that.
Hmm.
Him running out with Diddy or something like that. But yeah, man, it's just it's just so many connections. Like when you think about it, right? Even like the Jeffrey
Hmm.
Epstein thing. You think about it. They said there was celebrities at
Hmm.
Jeffrey Epstein Island with these underage kids. It's like you hear so many rumors about all these celebrities. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them you hear. They're having sex
Hmm.
with these different people. They're having sex parties. They like little kids, all that kind of stuff. Like you hear it, and then what I wanted to take it to is like the Illuminati thing, and it's like we hear about all these allegations with Diddy, and then we hear about the Illuminati thing for years, and then now all these allegations is coming out, all these cameras, I guess evidence of there actually camera footage of people doing compromising things, and people have said over the years, like, hey, they'll make you do sexual things and then they'll record it, and people used to brush it off like they just on a conspiracy theory tip, but now it's like people are literally saying he have cameras all over his house. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to see those connections. And like the Bible says, we don't deal with flesh, but we deal with principalities and how I go principalities and even is in dark places, something like that.
In
Something along that line, heavenly
heavenly
places.
places.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's just we look at it as like, yeah, it's just yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a physical fleshly thing, but it's like a lot of times it is deeper. It is deeper than just, man, they want to go have sex with such and such. It's like, when you hear about like the Bohemian Grove thing, these people was out here worshiping the owl. I
Hmm.
don't know if you heard about that. You heard about that?
Was that the, and I might be wrong here, was that the collection of people like in the middle of the woods who like
Mm-hmm.
supposedly were like caught on camera kind of doing that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff?
It's not supposedly. This is you can look it up on YouTube, I think, right now. Like this is proof. Like a dude snuck into there,
Hmm.
filmed it, and these dudes over here made a big owl with or something like that, and acting like they sacrificing a person to this owl. And these are billionaires doing this, and they all coming together and doing this together.
Hmm.
And so yeah, man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy how we see the Diddy thing. We hear about people talk about all these conspiracy theories
Hmm.
about how like I can't become famous because I won't do nothing gay to get famous. And
Hmm.
Yeah, man. And then you hear about this, it's like, man, you can kind of pinpoint all them dots and say, oh, maybe like, I mean, some people take it far love with the Illuminati stuff, but it's like there's some type of balance there where it's like we know the devil is at work, and there's some type of, you know, demonic thing probably going on for sure. And then you got obviously this sex and all this kind of stuff going on where
Mhm.
they probably leveraging that for people to like get famous. Like, hey, you come do this with us, we'll put you on. You
Mhm.
know, so crazy.
Well, I mean, Jesus already talked about that in the Gospels, right? He mentioned, and if you want to just very take a very focused, simple approach to all this and build out from it, he already said it. He said, "If you were of the world would love you as its own."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Another place he mentions that, woe to you when all people speak well of you, for so their fathers treated the false prophets. So what that has always spoken to me spiritually is when Jesus says, if you were of the world will love you as its own. Is like, if you are influenced by Satan, by this world, by your flesh, if you're living anti God, like, you can get as far as you want to in this world, because that's the makeup of this world. It's fallen, it's wicked, it's sinful, filled with dark things. That's the norm, right? If you're a Christian, and I mean, like, I don't mean just, Sunday morning Christian, you show up, read the Bible, and go home. I mean authentic. You're living out the gospel. You're clothing yourself in righteousness, and you're striving for Christ in all things, right? And let's say you're trying to be a Christian rapper or a Christian this or Christian that. You have an understanding that, because you live in a world that hates God is going to hate you. It's only natural to understand that there's only a certain level of notoriety that you're going to reach in this world, right? Before
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you hit that kind of ceiling, where it's like you're not gonna blow up like that. That's why, it's the same about, politics, right? Unless God Himself willed it, right? You will probably never see a true blue Christian being the president of the United States. Like, and I mean, like, actual, like, doctrinally sound, speaking out against sin, right? Proclaiming all these things, because God's word already is so anti-world. Like, the moment they ask him about, what do you think about homosexual marriage, that's a demographic not voting for him. What do you think about this war over here? That's a demographic out. So there's that right there. In the same way, you're talking about how to get famous in this world. I mean, you have to compromise to get to a certain level,
Yeah, for
like, just
sure.
just to stay a certain type of relevant. It just happens. What, bro, why do you think it is you keep seeing all these Disney Channel kids and all these Nickelodeon child stars who at some point get turned out as they get older? I'm not saying they have to do it, but it just, for some reason or another, time and time again, in order for them to
Mm-hmm.
stay a certain type of relevant or to fit a certain bill, like, they have to go that way. Remember
Mm-hmm.
when Miley Cyrus kind of got her career, kind of got like a second breath of air, and that was only after she started twerking on Robin Thicke, and, came in like a wrecking ball, that whole phase of her life, like, that whole thing. Um, yeah, it, bro, and it's like, you don't want to. So the thing is, right? We want to ignore and not really dive into too much too many speculatively natured conversations, because we're not in the business of peddling hysteria, right? We're not in the business of trying to, you know stir up something that may or may not be there. What we do know is the data right now is bearing this out. There's something going on behind the scenes, where in Hollywood and entertainment and all these other places, there's always this underbelly of people just doing things like what we're talking about, um, almost as a prerequisite to being accepted or to having connections. Um, it just kind of is what it is. There's a reason why. Look, I'll just say this: there's a reason why you have a lot of these rappers talking about, they haven't sold. I mean, you said earlier, they haven't sold their soul. That's why they're not this, and that's why they're not that. It might just be a cool rap bar. Then again, there could be some truth to it. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much mention about that too. You know, people
Too much
say,
smoke.
yeah, too much smoke. It's like I said, too much fire.
Hmm.
Too much fire for the smoke. But well, nah, man. I mean, they mention it all the time. Not all the time, but a lot of people. in their music. Like you said, they'll say, "Oh, I haven't done this," or the Illuminati XYZ. Or you know,
Mhm.
it can't all be fake, but all the conspiracy theories can't all be real. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and bro, and honestly, quick side note, the word conspiracy, man, it doesn't not have to mean like the most outlandish, like the Loch Ness monster conspiracy. Bro, the definition of conspiracy merely is just a plot, a plan, a secret intention. By
Mm,
that definition, conspiracies exist everywhere. Like just it's bro, if enough people get together with an evil plan in mind, that in itself is a conspiracy. That's happened before. Like for political gain, for you
mm,
know, to conspire to do something, that just means you're plotting to do it. That's
mm,
why, in a legal sense, conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to distribute cocaine, it's you thought about it and you made a plan to do it. You may not have succeeded in doing it, but you conspired to do it. You thought about it, you planned it, you mapped it out, and that itself is a thing. So, with that being said, I mean, conspiracies. I mean, sure, if you think Loch Ness monster conspiracy, then sure, that's hogwash. But if you're just thinking bare bones what a conspiracy is or to conspire, bro, that opens it up to really everything being
yeah.
on the table. So,
And I heard, I think it was a YouTuber. I think it was Ruslan. I think, but he was just talking about if it was him. I think the person was saying how it's not just with like the celebrities and people with a lot of influence and stuff, and maybe even politicians. Like it's not just with them. It's like this is a person thing in general. Like people do this kind of stuff at companies. You know what I mean? Like I know
oh, bro, the
somebody.
office Christmas party.
Well, yeah, I
The
mean maybe
hey,
I don't know, but
hey,
I
bro,
know
what?
somebody that was talking about his boss was doing XYZ with um with the people that worked under him, and then he got
Mm,
fired. When
yeah.
he got caught up with about different things. So this stuff isn't just to celebrities. It's like because it made me think about like before I was saved, and think about before you were saved too, and think about how I don't know about you. I can't speak for you, but I'm pretty sure at that time, if it was an opportunity, I would have I would have went into a room with a bunch of girls, a bunch of my homeboys, and we would have had sex with all these girls. And so people who's not celebrities do this kind of
All
nonsense.
bro, all the
Yeah,
time, bro.
you
Well,
know,
that was me in college. I'm not gonna lie. That's
so it's
every
not far
time.
fetched to think that, oh yeah, these celebrities having these big old parties and having sex all over the house. This is not far fetched at all.
That is true, yeah.
You know.
That is very true. That yeah, on the ground level, bro, you go to any. I'm not just gonna hop on HBCUs, but you go to any like predominantly well known party school, bro. That
Mm-hmm.
happens every single day. It's just an incubator for that kind of thing because you got bro, just look at the elements. You got first time, freshly free high school graduates who trying to get out and be independent, make their own decisions and co-ed
Mm-hmm.
this and you got alcohol access that and got the weed man on campus, all this stuff. Bro, what you think is gonna happen? Like what do you
Mm-hmm.
think is gonna happen? So yeah, that's an excellent point. If we have done it, then they have more resources to do it, they have more security to protect themselves to do it. They got cars, they got all this stuff that's kind of this infrastructure that protects them, if something happens. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man. But let's go ahead and switch the subject and go to our second topic.